Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Sorry. I had. It's funny. I actually clicked on the thing to bring it back, and the bar went, and then it decided not to. So, thank you. Appreciate it. That's the kind of things I wish I could see. With that, though, we are here tonight for the Beyond 100 at Iowa. 0.85 mile short track. We're in for a fantastic night of racing here in the Tuesday Night Truck Series. Let's go and jump in and see our qualifying order. Starting on pole position in the inside lane is going to be Gavin Jones with this is going to be his home race. Ryan Andrew alongside. Row number 2 in the inside lane is going to go to Alex Bell with Brett Murphy alongside. In row number 3, going in the 5th position is Derek Stanley with Quinn Gingrich. We get to see again there in the 48 in 6th position. Row number 4, 7th position goes to Sean Howell, currently 2nd place in the playoffs with Mitchell Muma alongside. Row number 5 is going to go to the 9th position of Alex Forgy-Berube with Chris Sawyer alongside in 11th. Row number 6 goes to Jacob McMillan and Brady Floyd, and then bringing up the rear of the field is going to be Chad Waller. And that is your field here at the Beyond 100. I want to thank Beyond Wrestling very much because they are the home of independent names of wrestling and some very big future stars coming up. So you can watch all their coverage at iwtv.com. Popping up to the front of the field here, we can see the 12 of Gavin Jones and the 8 of Ryan Andrew. We're in for a fantastic night of racing with this short track. It's the Iverson.com Mustang leads us around turn number 1 and 2. Rusty Wallace involved with the construction of this track in some way or another. I think because it was Richmond or something. Iverson has a great description in there somewhere that I should look at a little bit more beforehand, but that's okay. As we head down the banked backstretch, the pit exit on this track is actually incredibly difficult to get right at speed, as is the throttle application out of each of the corners. So we are in for quite a show throughout the entire night and expect some cautions. With that, though, we are going to be leaving turn number 4, and the iRacing.com pace car is going to be pulling off as we head now towards the start-finish line. Green flag, and away we go here at the Beyond 100. Gavin Jones off to a pretty good start. It looks like the 8 of Ryan Andrew got that even better, though. Alex Bell looking interested. Is there 3 wide going into turn number 1? Quinn Gingrich there in the middle. Sean Howell on the bottom. Trying to see if he can get around, but it just does not work. Quinn Gingrich has the position. Brett Murphy currently running in 4th position, trying now to catch back up to the leaders as Alex Bell runs in 3rd. Ryan Andrew sticking up to that high side as Jones sticks to the bottom 2 wide. Is there off of 4 in the snap of the 12? He's around in the infield. Ryan Andrew takes the lead, and we are off to the races here at Iowa. Caution does not fly. Single car incident into the infield, not on the racing surface. Goodbye, Ryan Andrew. He is trying to check out now. However, we see the incredible speed out of Alex Bell chasing behind, making sure he does not go that easily. Quinn Gingrich, though, also trying to stick up towards the front. We don't see Quinn in every single race, so it's good to see him back whenever we can. Lucas Strayer unable to make the race, it seems like. I know he was looking forward to this race. This is his favorite track, and he was supposed to be my in-car reporter here tonight, but he's not here. Unfortunate. Brett Murphy, though, running currently in 3rd position. Not usually often we see him running up front this long early on into a run. I think that Brett has a good idea on what he's doing for this racetrack. I mean, this is just one of those ones that is hard to know what you're doing, especially on throttle application. Someone else that really knows how to do that kind of stuff, though, is Alex Bell. We've seen him succeed at just about every single track here on the Tuesday Night Truck Series schedule. Every week you see him running up towards the front, and that is why he is leading the current playoffs. Want to know who your playoffs are? You can see that red banner on the vehicle on the front side. I believe they also like to keep red spoilers as well. Not everybody runs those, as it's not mandatory. However, it is common practice. Example. I mean, it's good to see all that kind of stuff, though. The contingencies that you can find here in Tuesday Night Trucks are fantastic, courtesy of Brett Murphy there. Always good to see. Ryan Andrew off to a really good lead right now. He's got a good grip at this track. I think, with this being his home track, he just has enough practice here and just knows the track well enough to know what lines are best at certain times. He's got that really big home field advantage. Alex Bell, with his tons of experience and, plenty of speed he has, currently trying to chase him down. That time has been looking pretty consistent, but one thing that I don't think Alex Bell is prepared for is being pressured from behind by the 64 of the NS Service MDK all day. Ford F-150, driven by Brett Murphy. I mean, good for Brett being able to stick up here. Now, Sean Howell finally able to recover from his a bit further down start position, able to make himself back up into the field. 4th position. Currently running up 2 positions. He was having a bit of a struggle there on the beginning as they were all 3 wide going into turn number 1, but he's got it now. A little bit further now through your field, we can see the 19 of Alex Forza Berube. Whoa, almost loses it off of 4 there, and I believe that's a Maple Leafs. Maybe I know it's Canada on there. I don't know. Some of these guys don't tell me about their pants and stuff, so... Oh, collision there with the 20 of Brady Floyd. Brady just able to get into the playoffs barely by the skin of his teeth. They're currently running at 1,000 points, which is the minimum when you just enter into the playoffs, along with Chris Sawyer. He and Chris Sawyer are going to be battling for the positions to make sure they can get as many points as possible and remain in the playoffs in contention for as long as possible. Mitchell Muma also trying to chase behind there in the number 30 unsponsored Toyota Tundra once again. He's just running that kind of truck here tonight just because he wants to. So if you want to put some ad space on there, hit up Mitchell Muma. Quinn Gingrich has fallen back a little bit now into 8th and 9th position roughly. Back here, Chris Sawyer there in the 45 as well. All these guys trying to stick it to each other and see how far they can get. Hopping back up towards the front, though, we can see that Alex Bell has been able to catch Ryan Andrew. Alex Bell dives down to the bottom, has the pace. Looks like he can almost take it off of the exit of 4 or 2. Yeah, off of 4. It just does not have the run from that bottom lane. That high lane run is just so important, especially at these kind of short tracks where the banking is crucial. Tire wear, something we're going to want to watch as well. I know that the shredding of the tires is not nearly as severe as you can find at some of your other tracks here on the iRacing.com simulation service, but here it is still a thing to watch. Stage is going to be lap number 35, and we're going to see who goes in for fuel. Leading back to playoffs, you do not get playoff points for getting the stage. So these guys, if you're running a bit further back and you're in the playoffs, you don't need to be too worried. It can be kind of a reset if you are having a bit of a first struggle of a stage, which is good for a lot of these guys that just want to be able to make a solid recovery. Andrew still able to pull away and not let Bell have it quite yet. Brett Murphy getting challenged for the position by Sean Howell. Dives down to the bottom. That 38 Toyota Tundra, it looks like he's about to take that position away. Brett moves up top. They're still side by side. I mean, that's the great part about Iowa. It's just one of those tracks where it can be so difficult to pass, but it's just so much fun trying to race the other person to do so because it always feels fair. Look at that as they continue to race, and now it is going to be a drag race for your leaders up here as well between Ryan Andrew and the 15 of Alex Bell. You can see the different line there that Ryan Andrew is taking in 1 and 2. He likes to stick it a bit more towards the middle, kind of towards the bottom, and now as we run through 3 and 4, you can see him sticking it all the way to the high side. Little block there on the 15 as they go across the start-finish line again. Ryan Andrew is not going to be surrendering this position easy, and that is going to be something that Alex Bell is very used to now within TNT. Every single race he's in, basically, he's always in a very tight contention, and it just never works out in his favor. Now, as he's able to almost make the pass, wasn't quite able to slide up and make the block. He's going to lose a lot of time off of having to back out of that one. We can think more specifically, but especially between these two, between Ryan Andrew and Alex Bell. Think back to Martinsville. These two tied, according to the iRacing system, across the line. Andrew getting the win by the hair length of a splitter. And that's the kind of racing we expect here out of the Tuesday Night Truck League. And these guys are not going to stop for one single moment. Brett Murphy currently under challenge from Derek Stanley. He's going to be diving down to the bottom there on that 26, and I think he might be able to take it away. I think Brett's struggling for tires right now. Just doesn't have the grip, and it seems like that is the case now as your leaders are continuing to battle for position off of turn number 4. A little bit loose there for the 15. This being a fixed setup league, you don't really get the option to change too many things on your pit stop when you go in. However, if he's going to be able to, it might be worth an adjustment of air pressure. Sometimes you want that little bit lower air pressure to get a bit better grip, especially off some of the exits of the corners if you're struggling. But it looks like he has it pretty well under control now as Sean Howell begins to catch up, and it looks like Ryan Andrews starting to fade. Alex Bell clears him, throws the block. Ryan Andrews looks very interested, pressing right on that rear bumper. He's going to be right there, right behind him. I mean, that's got to be intimidating. You're riding there up there in the 15, you look in your mirror, and you just see the person's face right there. Sean Howell likes to be sitting right there and getting a nice front row view, because if they mess up, then it's his position and him just running away. Going to be going on to lap number 22 this time by. Jeremy, it's great to see you out in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Let's go across the line, entering lap number 22. Alex Bell continues to hold the lead over Ryan Andrews, just able to barely snatch it away as Sean Howell looks interested in trying to see if he can catch up, but he just doesn't have the pace quite yet. I think if he wants to buy this time just a little bit, he's going to be in a good place. Brett Murphy not doing so hot right now, starting to fall back a little bit more in the field. Brady Floyd able to get around, who is just barely in the playoffs, as I mentioned before. Quinn Gingrich finally coming back into some contention a little bit as he goes down to the bottom. Not going to let Alex Forgia-Berube past either now as they go through turns 1 and 2. This is a giant gaggle of cars here now as they round turn number 2. There you can see Mitchell Numa also involved up in that. Chris Sawyer. Whoa, huge slide there out of the 19. You can see that body roll that Alex Forgia-Berube is currently struggling with a bit. That is just a little bit different than what we're seeing out of these other drivers. I think that wheel spin is not going to be helping his tire wear any, and he's going to be losing pace the more the night goes on. Things are doing well out here, Jeremy, and I'm glad that you were able to pop in just for a little bit. It's good to see you. These guys are, you know, they're doing okay, but TNT won't be the same without you. Chris Sawyer now able to be giving Brett Murphy a run for his money. Jacob McMillan there as well in the JHM Pates Chevrolet Silverado as they enter turn at number 1. This is a giant battle for position everybody has up here now. Look up towards the front. We see Berube almost able to get the position, but Quinn Gingrich, he's on the bottom. He's not going to let him have it easy because he's going to stick himself back up into 6th, but that run off the outside gives it right back to Berube. Looks like Mumo is able to clear himself just a little bit of the chaos that is behind him. It's going to allow him to stay in 8th position pretty comfortably as of now. So, looking at the points, this is what it looks like when you are racing here in the playoffs in TNT. Hopping back out front to your leader. Alex Bell right now, if he were to finish this race, it was the white flag right now, he would have 13 points going across the line. That's 8 points plus a 5 bonus for winning. Second position, Ryan Andrews, if he were to cross the line right now, he would get 7 playoff points. Sean Howell, 6. Derek Stanley, 4. You get the idea. It just goes down per position. But that is the idea it is going to be working on, and as a playoff driver, you want as many points as possible. It's going to be an incredibly tight battle throughout the entirety of the season. Yeah, Jeremy, I get what you mean. You know, sometimes it can be really difficult to be running in some of this stuff, and got to make sure you take care of your own mental health first. So it's good to see that, you know, you're able to make that emotionally correct decision for yourself, and hopefully you can come back a bit later on and be stronger than ever before, and we'll all be happy to see you again. Brett Murphy now down into 12th position. Gavin Jones, who originally was leading this race and spun off of turn number 4, currently running 17 seconds back from the leaders. Still trying to be on the process of recovery, but it is difficult without people to even get that little bit of short track draft with. Is now we're going to pop back up to the front, and Alex Bell has almost a second lead on Ryan Andrews after he was able to get by. He's got this thing down. Sean Howell, though, has not let Ryan Andrews out of his sights, and as soon as I say that, too, he looks down to the bottom. Is Sean Howell going to try to get the position? These two have raced for a position many a time before as well. It's not surprising to see. Ryan Andrews has been a really big threat for the championship this season for a lot of these guys, and Sean Howell, your previous season championship, I'm sure, winner, is trying to really get himself into a good prime position later on when it comes towards the end of the season. Not too many races left after this. If you go ahead and join the Discord for Tuesday Night Trucks, you can find the schedule there as well. And it looks like up next, it is going to be Michigan. And then only 2 races after that. Which is crazy to say. I mean, that's close. Like I said, though, these are going to be some very critical races as time goes by. Sean Howell continuing to try to get on through. Just doesn't have it quite yet. Give him a few more laps, and I'm sure he's going to be there eventually. Battle for position a bit further back as well, though. Quinn Gingrich, I saw, was trading positions with Mitchell Muma. Chris Sawyer now catching up to Muma as well. Seeing that 45. The exit at 2, though, just does not have the run. You can see that little wave he had. They now enter turn number 3. See, there's a pretty good entry there. The 66, a Chad Waller. I believe we might have seen him once before in a different race. He's back once again, though, and it looks like he's going to be trying to join us up and see what he can do. Derek Stanley currently running in 4th position, a bit alone for right now, but he is currently sticking in a good spot. Honestly, clean air at a track like Iowa is very important. It means you have nobody else around you that is going to get yourself into trouble, which is a good thing, especially at a short track that's narrow. I mean, Iowa is not that wide of a track. Its entry into 1 is pretty good, which means you can have some great passes up in there. But it just is not the widest thing, especially down the backstretch. So, good for Derek Stanley having some ability to relax a little bit. As Ryan Andrews starts to pull away a little bit from Sean Howell, that gap has increased by many car lengths. And the caution has flown, as that is going to be the end of your stage. Alex Bell able to get your stage, and as I said before, Alex Bell does not get any special kind of stage points for doing so. Yeah, Jeremy, no Luke up in the broadcast today. Today was supposed to be his other race that he would be in person, driving the car, but Luke's nowhere to be found. So, I've been all by myself today. It's okay. I get paid to do that anyway. As you can see, your current positions before these guys go into the pits: Bell, Andrew, Howell, Stanley, Berube, Floyd, Gingrich, Muma, Sawyer, Waller, McMillan, Murphy, and Jones. You can see now the pit strategies that these guys are going to take. Now, before they do that, though, I want to give a big thank you to Beyond Wrestling for sponsoring this week's race. Beyond Wrestling is the home for independent names and future stars in wrestling. So watch all their coverage over at IWTV.com. Iowa Speedway, you know, one of those tracks is just pretty cool, and I think Beyond is a pretty good sponsor for this. This is such a intense racetrack for a lot of these guys, as we've been able to see, you know, a fair amount of collision with each other. Everybody looks like they're going to be taking 4 tires and tons of fuel. Maybe a drive-through there for Brett Murphy. Brady Floyd able to get off and start going. It's going to be a pretty close race between a lot of these guys. Brett Murphy first off of pit road still. Go and bring up your driver positions and see just where everybody is currently running at. Pop up to Brett. It's cool to see that number 64, you know, in a pretty good spot for right now, but bring up their driver stat information. Thank you once again to Pierce Graphics for giving you this stuff, and it looks like he maybe pit in the lap before the caution or something, because he currently is running a pretty good plan on where he's at, so can't blame him for that one. With that, though, let's go and give someone a chance to be brought up here. Let's see, who do we grab out of the great amount of drivers we have? We'll grab Alex Bell. Alex, no, open the booth. They read me.
Yes, sir. Hello.
How you feeling? I know last time we talked, you weren't feeling too great.
Yeah, right now, feeling pretty good. Leading the race is definitely helping, but this 15 Chevrolet is looking good out front. It's always a good medicine to have.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's good to see you, you know, finally able to be a little bit more in the right mental state after, you know, not feeling good. But, I mean, clearly it just shows with the amount of speed you have here at this short track. Iowa is one of those just tough tracks.
Yeah, man, I was pretty worried in practice. I was driving around like a dang idiot, didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I think we got out in front. That definitely brings a little more confidence booster. But I figured out the issues I was having in practice, and looking pretty good here, especially on the long run.
For any of our drivers that are out there, trying to get a better grips of short track racing and just, you know, really putting their iRacing career together, what is your advice?
Um, Man, I've been doing this a long time. You think I'd have some good advice, but I really don't know. Just seat time practice is super important. No, don't overdrive the car. That's the worst thing you can do, especially with stuff that's pretty tight. So, learn how to underdrive it, let the track come to you, and everything they teach you in real life.
All right. Well, that actually is some really good advice, and I think any of our bit more amateur drivers out there will definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time, Alex. Do you have anyone to thank before I let you go?
Thank you to you guys for always interviewing me when I win a stage. It's always great to talk to you guys.
All right. Good luck, Alex.
Thank you.
Number 15 of Alex Bell. It's got Ryan Andrew alongside. All right, Jeremy. Sounds good. We'll hope everything goes well. As we see the iRacing.com pace chart go off, as your leaders head now into the restart zone. Green flag. Alex Bell off to a fantastic start. Sean Howell also on the move on that one. Not going to let anybody get away. Brady Floyd up into 4th position on those fresh tires. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Whoa, snap at the car there for Sean Howell. He's going to be losing a lot of momentum off that, and that is going to cost him now as Brady Floyd moves up into 3rd position. Derek Stanley diving down low, trying to see if he can steal away a 5th. He's got the 4th, and the 38's around, and turn number 4 absolutely just destroys several cars. Jacob McMillan gone. Gavin Jones able to slide on through. Alex Berube seems to be okay. Gingrich, not looking good. I believe Brett Murphy made it through that as well. Chris Sawyer, I believe, made it through. Go ahead and make sure we take a look at that. What an incident. That is a huge wreck there. And not something you're always a big fan of seeing. But like I said, I mean, this track is just, it's a tricky one. So it's not too surprising that they had a slide out of there, even from a more experienced driver like Sean. All right, we're going to head back in and see just what's going on here at Iowa. We see the 38 on the outside. Car just snaps. Nobody touched him. He just goes around. Clips Quinn Gingrich, absolutely destroys the 21 of McMillan. And it looks like these guys are able to slip on through just barely. Look at the slam on the brakes there. Ada Berube able to slip on by. Same with Brett Murphy. Good thing that they were able to keep it to just a few cars. I mean, the wreck avoidance on these guys is absolutely impeccable. But still, I mean, that is some heavy, heavy damage for drivers like Jacob McMillan. Man, you feel bad for Jake. He just ends up in these wrecks so often that just aren't his fault. He was just a completely innocent bystander in that one, and oh, you feel bad. Sean Howell, I'm sure, is not too pleased with himself quite either. So we're going to see how they develop with that a bit later on here tonight at Iowa. Alex Bell and Ryan Andrew continue to lead this race. Let's go and bring up Ryan Andrew now. Give him a chance to talk about this, as I do believe this is his home race. He was talking about it before. Ryan, open the booth. There, you read me.
Yep, I got you.
Well, you're currently doing a real good job running in that number 8 forklift truck. I mean, what kind of strategy do you have here tonight?
Mainly, in that first run, I kind of overdrove it. Alex got by me, pulled away, and Sean almost got by me there. So I just gotta really focus on saving my tires a bit more on this run.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Straight right to the point, not gonna over fluff it, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Sometimes clean cut strategy of just save the tires works out a lot in the long run.
Yeah, this track is really line sensitive. There's a lot of bumps down in 1 and 2, and it's really smooth down in 3 and 4. So any bump can pretty much send you up the track here.
If I was reading it correctly earlier on, this is your home racetrack, is it not?
Yep, I live just a little bit away from it.
Hey, there you go. Do you think that's given you a nice advantage here tonight?
Probably, just the confidence.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you're able to, finally actually be able to see the racetrack in real life and, potentially even maybe go around it before too, it gives you a really good example on what it's like. And I'm sure that is, as you said, a really big confidence booster.
Just excited for the rest of this race.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, is there anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Alex there for racing me clean, not getting into me or anything, and also Sean here.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.
Number 8 of Ryan Andrew. Brady Floyd currently running in 3rd position. Derek Stanley there in 4th with the number 26. Looks like he's got a bit of front end damage. They're on that 26. Yeah, looks like his hood is just up. His quarter panel, front left panel looks fine though, which is funny. Huh. Sometimes you wonder. The collisions on racing can be a little bit weird sometimes. Well, with that, we are now going to be leaving turn number 4 as we follow along with your leaders as the iRacing.com pace truck pulls off as we head now to the green flag. We are going. Alex Bell off to a pretty good start. Brady Floyd not quite as fast on this one as I think he wanted to be. Derek Stanley kind of just sticking it out to the high side, not trying to get in anyone's business. Mitchell Muma looking to maybe pull a similar kind of strategy as now we see the 19 of Berube leaving the pits. As now Bell is going to be trying to do whatever he can to keep this lead. Down into turn number 1 he goes. You can see Ryan Andrew closing in behind, but it is still going to remain a very close race. Skim of the wall there for the 8 as well, not going to help his pace. He's got to make sure he keeps those tires fresh, as he said his plan was. Brady Floyd now running in 3rd position, got a little bit of clean air with him. He's got to make sure he stays ahead of this train of cars behind him. Stanley, Muma, Waller, Sawyer. I mean, all these guys are all going to be wanting to get around Brady Floyd there, especially for the playoff positions. That's something that Chad Wall here in the number 66 has a really big advantage over these guys. He's one of the very few in this race that is not in the playoffs. So he is basically the upset here, along with Quinn Gingrich and Gavin Jones. Makes this race just to be that much more interesting. Alex Bell there on the bottoms, trying to see if he can get back around the 8 of Andrew. Up to the high side, still for Andrew. Make sure we get a little bit wider angle and see that a bit better. Now as they head through the front stretch, Ryan Andrew back out to the lead. Clearly it looks like on these short runs, Ryan Andrew just has the pace. I think if they go under yellow a few more times, that's going to really work out in Ryan Andrew's favor, as he'll be able to just pull away a bit more from Alex Bell, who seems to be struggling here on the shorter runs. Just doesn't have the pace that the 8 does. But as soon as I say that, though, you can see just how close he is. And when I say he doesn't have the pace, I mean he's only a little bit slower, not dropping like a rock. Brady Floyd still sticking with them, though, currently running in 3rd, able to pull away from Derek Stanley a bit. Now sticking that middle, and he's got clean air. He's got to make sure he stays in a good position, though, if he wants to keep himself up on this podium step, maybe even get a bit forward. And he's going to earn himself 6 playoff points if he stays up here. Andrew throws a block down to the bottom. He's currently up in that little bit more middle lane, and then just moves down so that he does not let Bell take that away. And Bell's going to dive down there in 3. See if he can make the exit off 4. We've seen before that run that the high side gets is just too good. That's giving a chance for Brady Floyd to start catching up. This is the opportunity these guys have to take. Is it going to be a race where Ryan Andrew and Alex Bell are going to decide they have to work together a little bit to push themselves away from the field, then duke it out? Or are they going to keep trying to have a slugfest right now? And it looks like that's going to be the case, and that's going to allow drivers like Brady to catch up and get very close. Same with the drivers you see behind, Stanley, Muma, Waller. I mean, they're all going to be there very shortly. Bell's still there on the bottom. I think he's finding himself in a pretty comfortable position down there. Andrew, like you said before, has to make sure he takes this a bit easier. Got to be easy on those tires so you can have a nice longer run position. Don't have to worry so much about where you're going to be in a few laps. Brady Floyd very close to that rear end of the 15. Brady Floyd, we have not seen a whole ton of this season there in that number 21. Finally able to come back, and it seems like he's having a pretty good race here tonight at Iowa. I know that Iowa is a pretty contentious track. It's not just here in TNT, but all over as well. It's one of those things where it's just either you love it or you hate it. And if I remember correctly, Brady is not too big of a fan. But maybe after this race he's changed his tune, or maybe I'm just completely remembering wrong. Still, very different track. Iowa's is, you know, the D-shaped short oval, and it doesn't drive quite like any other one does. The throttle control you need here is something else. When you think of other short tracks, especially on the NASCAR Cup Series or even Truck Series schedule, Martinsville, you know, Richmond, throttle application is important, but it's a lot more of just keeping it going. But you can just get so hard on the throttle here at Iowa, but also not at the same time. All depends on your state of your tires and the track. And it looks like we're starting to see the 15 of Bell closing in on Andrew. This is the closest he's been in the last few kind of laps. Andrew still has the position as of now, but that bottom lane is just fast there in turns 1 and 2. Side by side down the backstretch. To enter turn number 3. Off of turn 4 they go. Andrew still has the position. That high side just has the run. I think that's the one thing he does not want to give up here at Iowa is that high side. Andrew now moving down. He saw the speed that the 15 there had on the bottom. He's going to make sure he doesn't get around again, especially as we're going to be approaching the halfway mark of this race. We're on lap number 59. This time across will be 60. Right, lap number 60 now. Just under halfway. Thank you once again to Beyond Wrestling for sponsoring this week's race. I know that I certainly do appreciate it, as does everyone else here in the Tuesday Night Truck Series. Want to find out more about Beyond Wrestling? Go ahead and check out their site at iwtv.com, where it is a whole bunch of names for independent wrestling and who are going to be your future stars. Once again, that is iwtv.com. So head now into turn number 3 as well. We can see Bell keeps trying to dive down to that bottom. It is kind of working, but just isn't going the way I think he's expecting it to. If you stick it down to that bottom lane, you're going to have that bit more pace advantage when it comes to having a shorter distance to run. But that high side, its momentum is just higher, and it's not allowing Bell to get across. But I mean, the duel that these two are having is just absolutely insane. Lap after lap after lap, these two are with each other. You know, it's pretty reminiscent too of you know, some of the races we've seen, not just between these two, but between Alex and Ryan with other drivers. I mean, these guys are just incredibly competitive, and when you put two people that are known to race their enemies hard, they're gonna do it. Say enemies, their other drivers hard, they do it. We think back to Watkins Glen and the controversial finish we had. Sean Howell got the win there, I want to say. That sounds right. After Ryan Andrew intentionally wrecked the other driver that was there. It was a short-time professional driver and did not allow that to work out too well. Yeah, Sean Howell was able to get the win at Watkins Glen on that one. But, you know, that's the thing. I think Alex Bell is a bit sick of finishing in second place, you know, getting squeezed. It's happened just a few too many times in his opinion, I'm sure. Still, able to win at New Hampshire earlier on, and then he was able to win the regular season championship and the actual race over at Kentucky last week. That Nation 150, you can watch the replay of that here on twitch.tv/4cloak. As we continue to watch the duel now for the actual championship. 13 playoff points goes to your leader. Alex Bell has 1,018 points. Sean Howell, 1,017. Ryan Andrew, 1,006. Ryan Andrew could really use this win to bolster his, you know, lead. Currently running in third position, an extra 13 points will put him just a point above where Alex Bell is now. But after this race, unless Alex Bell finishes towards the end, Bell will still have the lead, but it will be a lot tighter. Sean Howell currently running in 7th position, looking at getting 2 points. That's what you gotta do. Derek Stanley currently running in 3rd position here after he was able to get around Brady Floyd. It looks like Brady's tires are starting to fall off. Stanley able to get around. Chad Waller also catching up. Same with Mitchell Muma, currently running in 6th. Now these two, I can't look away for too long as they continue to duke it out for the lead. of the few drivers for Adria. It's Brady Floyd. We don't usually get to see too often, so it's good to see Adria having some representative all elite racing. That's going to be Brett Murphy and Quinn Gingrich, which are both here tonight. Running towards a bit further in the back as Alex Bell has the lead, almost a hair collision. Oh, and Andrew down to the inside now as they cross the line. Andrew has the lead off of that, but he has that bottom lane. He's running at the high side the entire time, but look at the gap he was able to get on that bottom on Alex Bell. That is incredible. But the momentum you can see out of the 15 as he looks down low, the speed he's able to carry down now into turn number 3. He has to back out of it, though, because he can't just slide up the racetrack because it's going to take them both out. Now as they round turn number 4, Ryan Andrews still has the lead after that incredible move that both of them were able to race. I mean, that is some, pure hard racing. Free driver, that is Alex Bell, does not have a team association as far as I'm aware. Ryan Andrew in Junior Fan Motorsports. I mean, these guys really are, this is a complete duking it out just for the driver's title because it's what they do. Derek Stanley currently running up front, and he is with Yee Racing. A couple teammates with him. He's got Mitchell Muma, Chris Sawyer, Jeremy, who was in our chat earlier, unable to race with us right now, and same with Ben McDonald, who was unable to make some races due to some sporting events. But that's okay. It's good to have interest outside of just iRacing. Andrew continues to lead here at Iowa with the Beyond 100. Getting pressured lap after lap by Alex Bell, but look at the way he's been able to hold on to this lead. He has not given this up. I mean, at this point earlier on, he'd been able, he lost the lead and was, kind of just content to having to sit behind and keep himself ahead of the 38 of Sean Howell. But at this point, he's still running pretty good, although it looks like Bell might be able to clear him. Not quite. This is just a slugfest. That's all it is. Good old-fashioned slugfest. I mean, shows the respect these guys have, though. Neither one of them is trying to make any dirty moves. They're very close to each other the entire time, though. They're going to give each other... They're not going to give each other an inch, but they're also going to give each other a mile at the same time, because they know that if they take each other out right now, that there's no point, because neither one of them will finish the race. I find it interesting here as well that you get to watch this is that it really does show that both lines are competitive. Whoa, big squeeze there. Out of the 15 into the wall for the 8. But, I mean, Alex Bell has been able to ride the bottom lane, the high lane for Andrew. They've been able to swerve all around each other, even in the corners. I mean, every single line is competitive if you know how to run it here at Iowa Speedway, and that is just what makes this track special. And that is one of the reasons why I really like this track. It's just awesome that you're able to do stuff like that. It's different than any other racetrack, because not every single line is competitive, but it looks like Ryan Andrews found himself a bit more of a gap, and he's going to be taking advantage of that. Still one set of tires and some fuel these guys can get on their next pit stop if they're going to take one. I'm not sure if they can make it to the end. Only 120 laps. Only 100 miles, as the name suggests, for the Beyond 100. Anyway, looking down a little bit further in your field, it looks like Mitchell Muma has gone into pit road. Look at that. Quinn Gingrich now up into 7th position for All Elite Racing. Bring up your driver stints and see what kind of strategies these guys are running. Brady Floyd also in the pits. Looks like your leaders are starting to pit now, too. Looks like I was right when it came down to you're going to get some tires. Let's watch this pit road stop as Sean Howell is currently able to lead the race. Same with Chris Sawyer, not too far behind. Look at these two. Just even on pit road, they're so evenly matched. See that stop that they get? God, that's terrifying. Let's see. It looks like the right side. No, the right side was both lit up for both of them. Both sides are up. Yep. All 4. Both cars. And out goes the 8. He's got the position. Chris Sawyer now leads this race ahead of Quinn Gingrich for about 2 seconds. Let's see if he's pitting in this time. No. Continues to stay out on a different fuel strategy. It seems that he is on, or he's able to just save a lot more. Look at the gap he has between himself and Quinn Gingrich, too. I mean, that is a, sizable gap that he's able to just continue to pull away as Brett Murphy runs in 4th position. Chris Sawyer is going to get some laps led, ladies and gentlemen. We're on turn number 4 now. I keep saying that, I hear those low RPMs. I think he's going to go in, but he just doesn't. Chris Sawyer is going to make sure he gets those laps led. And if he's on a really good fuel strategy, then who knows? Because Quinn Gingrich currently isn't able to catch him. To go to driver stints once again. Yeah, I mean, they're on way older tires. Caution is out here at Iowa. Alex Bell around in the backstretch. Doesn't look like he has too bad a damage. Go ahead and see what brought that out. But we'll be right back. All right, an unforeseen accident coming up here on your screen. Let's go and bring that up so you can see just what happened. See there, that is the entrance into turn number 1. We'll start running through 2. Alex Bell trying his best to chase down Ryan Andrew, just doesn't have it in him quite yet. It looks like maybe a hair and neck code. Not quite. Yep, netcode brought them together as Brett Murphy slid up the track just a bit, and that is going to send them both into a spiraling tumble. Yep, sends the 15 around. And that is going to completely change up how your field is going to look. Which is very interesting to say. It's not every day we get to see our field here in the Tuesday Night Truck League just absolutely mangled. But that is going to give a chance for a lot of these guys to go in for pit stops that had not before. And I think that they're going to be quite satisfied with that, as Alex Forger-Berube currently leads this race. Quinn Gingrich not too far behind on the exit of pit roads. That means Quinn is going to have fresh tires. Same with Chris Sawyer. They're going to be in the front for this race. Gavin Jones as well. Ryan Andrew behind the pace car. As soon as these guys finish up their pit cycles, we'll see where everybody turns out at. I imagine Brett Murphy will be taking the EOL on that one. One of the rules here in TNT is if a yellow comes out, who caused it? If you admit to the caution, you say it's your fault, you recognize that, you get hit with the EOL. It's essentially like, self-admittance. But it avoids a penalty later on. So if you're absolutely certain, 100% certain you didn't do it, you can say, not me. But when the review happens later and it is found out to be you, the penalties are far more severe than in just an EOL. Good to see for these guys, though, that they're all running in a pretty good position. Ryan Andrew currently says 6th position for me. Let's go bring up the positions on your left side. Some updates. Quinn Gingrich is supposedly leading this thing. All right. Pretty good race we've had here so far at the Beyond Wrestling 100. I'm excited to see the rest of this race run out. Not too much longer left to go. Lap number 86 of 120. The connections issues there for the 21 of Jacob McMillan. Hopefully he can keep himself under control, because that is the last thing that you want to see. Like I said, though, this is looking real weird figuring as your leader is pretty far back in the field. Alex Bell currently running, it says, in 11th position. I'm going to put quote-unquote lucky break there for Ryan Andrew. Ryan Andrew is the first driver to win in a four-cloak scheme, actually. Able to be done at Martinsville. Of course, incredibly close race. Ben McDonald able to get that second. It's been on the car a few other times now since then, but as Ryan Andrew got to break that streak, which is definitely cool to see, especially if this is a full car. Andrew, around the pace car now, it looks like it actually is Quinn Gingrich that is leading this race. Not. This is what happens when I don't have a radio. I don't know. Wherever you are, Strayer, I hope you see this. I need you. Please, come back. Quinn Gingrich currently has the lead here at Iowa. It's going to be Chris Sawyer alongside Brett Murphy and the 12 of Gavin Jones, your top 4. Going to be the ones leading off this race. I'm excited to see what these guys can do. We have not seen them on fresh tires for a bit, especially a bit more by themselves. This space between some of our older rivals back there is now they start to head out, get straightened out now as we head across. Ooh, delayed green. Delayed green. All right. Again, I wish I had a radio in my ear. Sean Howell currently runs in 8th position. He's got Alex Bell not too far behind. Like I said, though, a lot of these guys, you know, even though they'll race each other hard, are friends, which is always good to see. Having friends in it just makes it a lot more enjoyable compared to the disaster that can be not liking who you race with. Alright, looks like we should be going this time. I think. 45, Chris Sawyer there on the outside. Quinn Gingrich on the bottom. Derek Stanley pulls up alongside Ryan Andrew. Brett Murphy there alongside Gavin Jones. Mitchell Muma, Sean Howell. Brady Floyd, Alex Bell. Alright, they round turn number 4. Looks like we're going green this time. Pace car pulls off as we head into the front stretch, and it's green flag, and away we go here at Iowa. Look at the launch Quinn Gingrich had. Those fresh tires just sending him away. Goodbye. 3 wide as they enter turn number 1. Chris Sawyer off to an okay start. Ryan Andrew making some huge improvements off that. Gavin Jones out to the front again. Brett Murphy alongside Chris Sawyer. Sawyer in the wall. That is not going to be helping him as he gets sent to the rear of the field after skimming that wall there. Gavin Jones taking that bottom lane. He's trying to take it away from Chris Sawyer. Ryan Andrew 3 wide on the bottom has something that these guys clearly don't, and that is some extraterrestrial knowledge. He slides up. Oh, almost a slide out for Gavin Jones. The air that Ryan Andrew took off just sent him uncontrollable. What is Brett Murphy doing? Diving down on his teammate Quinn Gingrich in the 48 and the 64. Brett Murphy in 2nd position. Quinn Gingrich alongside. Lap number 91 of 20 here at Iowa. Ryan Andrew leads Quinn Gingrich, and Brett Murphy chasing behind. Derek Stanley running in 4th position. What is this race? Currently, the battle for 2nd position is an intense one where we have the 48, the 64, and the 28 all going at each other's throats. Whoa! Brady Floyd spinning around on the on the front stretch. Yellow flag. Out. Not quite sure what happened there. Let's go ahead and get a perspective and see what we see up here in the booth. Leaving turn number 4. On the bottom, no collision. It looks like the exact same thing that happened to Sean Howell earlier. Just loses it off of 4. Tries to save it. He's almost got it. Just can't get it. Sends himself around. Chris Sawyer avoids, though. Look at that wreck avoidance. He's able to slam on his brakes and make sure he swerves out of the way. Brady Floyd trying to make sure he holds a more consistent line so he ends up not hurting as many people down the road. It's the important stuff you have to do whenever you are a race car driver and you are spinning. You just got to keep your other drivers safe. It's not worth it to end up in the trouble that it causes when you damage more cars. Ryan Andrew still holds on to the lead with Quinn Gingrich and Derek Stanley going to be behind Brett Murphy in 4th position. Sean Howell in 5th going down pit road. Apparently Alex Bell as well. Nope, Sean Howell stays out. Alex Bell, though, down pit road. We saw him being a very contentious driver earlier on. Let's go ahead and see if he takes tires this time by. Maybe it's just for some gas and goes to make sure he makes it to the end of the race. And he's taking tires. Maybe he's hoping to, have that, you know, he's going to be starting a little bit further back. He's got about 20 laps, roughly, to make himself back up into the front. The problem is, if we look at our current stints right now, Ryan Andrew is on 15-lap-old tires. And that's at a short track, so, you know, there's some wear on them, but they're not terribly aged. That later pit, though, out of Quinn Gingrich is what's keeping him competitive. Same with Derek Stanley, though, who has the same lap-old tires as Andrew, but is right there with him. Brett Murphy also being competitive. Wait, hold on. Jacob McMillan is on 51-lap-old tires. Okay, he better be coming in. I have questions, and many of them, but it's not the time. We might talk to Jacob later. I know he said not to do any interviews with him today because I would bring him up right now, but only interviews if he gets a top 3, so. That goes out to our drivers out there. If you are not interested in interviews, you don't want me to randomly pull you up during these yellows or at some random time, because sometimes if we have a really, really, really long green flag run, I will bring people up. Notably, I think I did that last season with the Cast Car a few times. If you're interested in watching the Cast Car Shorter Golden Cup Series, tune in on Sundays to catch that. Regardless, though, it can be a fun but sometimes stressful thing to bring them up during actual green flag runs. That's usually why you want someone dedicated like an in-car reporter. And my in-car reporter isn't here. Strayer. Anyway. All fun and games we're able to hear English that we're able to have here at Four Cloak Media. If you're interested in the stuff that we do, whether it be our entertaining broadcasts with our semi-professional take on it, overlays with Pierce graphics, any kind of information you want to do, our graphic design, we do a lot at Four Cloak Media. If you want more information, go ahead and check out www.fourcloakmedia.com. I am exhausted. My apologies, I did not sleep at all. Alright, we should be 2 to green this time by based on how these guys are starting to drive with each other. It's going to be a short dash to the finish. Tap of the pace car rear bumper there for Ryan Andrew. A bit more than a tap now. Cuts off Quinn Gingrich. He wants to go to the outside lane. Alright. Gingrich is going to be on the bottom. Based off from what I know, that's what Quinn wants, so this is going to end up being a win-win scenario for him. Front row and on the bottom with fresher tires. I think Quinn Gingrich is going to be a bit faster of a car than I think Ryan Andrew anticipates. Derek Stanley, though, going to be starting in that second row. Brett Murphy alongside with some pretty heavy damage with him, too. Howell and Muma also going to be starting there in row number 3. And not too far back. Just a few rows. 10th position is Alex Bell. And that is the one person I know that Ryan Andrew does not want to see in his rearview mirror. With that, though, we're going to be leaving turn number 4 here at Iowa Speedway with the Beyond 100. Thank you once again to Beyond Wrestling for sponsoring this week's race. As we head now into green flag, Ryan Andrew off to a great start as he's able to pull away Brett Murphy, looking pretty competitive there on the outside. He is able to anticipate that launch. So they now run through turns 1 and 2. Wow, look at the close race, and they have 3 wide still. You can see it just a little bit. They're at each other's quarters. I'm going to call it 3 slam of the wall for the 30. 3 wide again now as they run through 3 and 4. Gingrich stuck in the center. How are they going to handle that? Still 3 wide action now. Okay, files back down to 2 as they cross the start-finish line. These guys are desperate for these points. Remember, your top 8 are the only ones that get some playoff points going forward, and you want that win, which is 13 compared to the 7 that is second place. Almost double the points for getting the win compared to second place. So very close for all these other drivers. 3 wide, Mitchell Mumont there in the center. Keep in mind, this is like 7th place, 6th, 7th place. Like, these guys are very competitive for these positions. It means everything. Looking forward. Oh, turn into Quinn Gingrich there. He slams into the wall. Yellow flag is out. We got to see that, but we're going to make sure we take another perspective at that one because, wow. And that is some unfortunate timing for a few of these guys, but just wow. All right, we have a better camera angle here that we're going to be able to see just what happened there off of the exit of turn number 2. 48 goes down to block Alex Forget-Berube. Brady Floyd comes up. What happened there? It looks like Quinn either just turned into the wall or there was a really big netcode problem as Alex Bell gets collected in that. We're going to head over to the cockpit Pam here of the 48 and see just what happened, because I am curious. I'll rewind a bit on that. Hate to do that, but very slow here. He slams it off to the right. That's himself. Back up a little bit further. Slow it down. This is when Brady Floyd's starting to come up. He sees Brady, just yanks it right. It's a very interesting maneuver, and one I don't think that you want to do. Good part about this, though, is that we know that they aren't hurt. It's just iRacing. They're okay. And it's good to know that we have drivers here that can... they can unfortunately end up in incidents like that. They won't be hurt. And that is one of the key things that you have to be really concerned about when you're doing these races. So, well, as we are going to be resuming back in, I want to give another thank you to Beyond Wrestling for sponsoring this week's race. Remember, it is the Beyond 100 here at Iowa Speedway, and if you want to find out more about the independent names and future stars of wrestling there with Beyond, go ahead and check out their coverage at iwtv.com. That is iwtv.com. Derek Stanley currently leading this field at the moment. It is number 26 Toyota Tundra. I imagine we have too much time for green before green, but let's go ahead and bring him up just because I want someone to talk to. Derek, can you open the booth? Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you, Noah. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a while since we've been able to talk to you.
Yeah.
Well,
I was kind of like people pitted there.
Yeah, I know. It's very late to pit, but who knows? Maybe these strategies, they must know something that we don't.
Yeah.
Still, you're on pretty, decent, your tires are okay. You got yourself enough fuel to make it to the end. You're in the front, and you got some competitive cars around you. I mean, how are you feeling about that?
Feeling okay. The setup's a little challenging. Got Sean behind me. I know he's fast. So, gonna be challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
Just see if we get a top 3 so we can talk to you at then.
Definitely. What's going to be your strategy going forward for this?
I don't know. Don't really got one. Just let it roll and see where it goes.
A pure driver at its core. Just send her in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Derek. I do appreciate it. Is there anyone I want to thank before I let you go?
Thanks you for putting this on, and thanks everybody for watching.
All right. Thank you very much, Derek. I appreciate it, and good luck.
Thanks.
Number 26 of Derek Stanley going to be leading this field to the green. Sean Howell is going to be starting behind. I'm sure that we'll be able to talk to him not too much later. Brady Floyd running in third, and he's got Chris Sawyer right behind. Jacob McMillan up in the top 5, or was up in the top 5 before his internet. Oh, there it is. Now he's back. And Alex Bell is going to be starting there with Ryan Andrew. And I don't see that being a problem. All right, well, they're going to resume now to 2 wide. And let's go take a look at those driver stints. And I do believe that if you look there, you'll see that Andrew and Bell are on the same lap old tires. So who can get through the mess that is traffic the best out of those two? Because they have been dominating this race. And it's only going to be about 15 to go at the line. It's going to be a nice dash to the end. I'm excited. Derek Stanley, like I said, is going to be leading this field to the green. Sean Howell alongside Brady Floyd, Chris Sawyer, McMillan, and Bell. With that, they're stacking up the field a bit there for sure. Not quite what the plan is. There as they leave turn number 4. The iRacing.com pace car does pull off. And we hit the green flag zone. Green flag, we are away. Very close start here. I think they all went on the actual green flag rather than just whenever they want. So 3 wide entering turn number 1. Ryan Andrew on the bottom. Brady Floyd, Alex Bell. Oh, and Andrew takes out. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, man. That was a unfortunate wreck there off of turn number 2. We're going to get a replay of that in just a moment there, folks. But what a wreck. Golly. It's a bit different when they're sudden and kind of violent like that. So, well, we head in now to follow along. 3 wide, Ryan Andrew on the bottom. He cut down trying to get a lot of pace and see if he can gain stuff, but you see he's not the only one. Gavin Jones following alongside. Sean Howell also on the bottom. Brady Floyd goes a lot down. Andrew does come up a bit, but Brady goes down a lot. And then Andrew collects Brady and just too close, collects Bell, and sends all 3 of them around. Brett Murphy absolutely nowhere to go. And this is at, I think, like, ×8 slow-mo. So this is this is extremely fast. Wilmot involved, Berube, McMillan. I think Gavin Jones was able to just barely avoid that. That is, that's, one you don't like to see. Watch that real time here. Yeah. That's a, that is an unfortunate one. And one we hope that we do not see going forward. Resume back up to the front. Sean Howell and Chris Sawyer are going to be being P2 and P3 as Derek Stanley continues to lead the field. Ryan Andrew running in 9th position. Alex Bell, I see not out. Well, Derek Stanley being in the playoffs, looking at 13 points to his name. And he is currently running in 5th position with 1,005 points. An extra 13. With Alex Bell not making the rest of this, potentially, I'm going to keep an eye on that, is going to put him basically into the lead, aside from Sean Howell, running at 1,017. So, Sean gets the win. That's going to be another points boost to him as well. Something that is beneficial to him. Chiluma there in the number 30 truck on the bottom. Hate to have those wrecks, man. There's not too much more I can say about it as we see our damage trucks limping across. It's only be a few more before we go back. If you have anyone that we want to bring up during the broadcast, please let me know and I can make arrangements to do so. It's always fun to bring up our good friends around here. You know, let's go bring up Chris Sawyer. We don't usually get to talk to him too much, so it'll be fun. Chris is still up at the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Well, you've been running up front for a lot of this race and actually doing a really good job. What's been going on tonight?
Man, just trying to avoid all this carnage out here.
Hey, it's definitely working out in your favor, but I mean, even your raw pace has been absolutely up there. I mean, it's a really impressive show.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, we test here and, put a lot of effort into it, and so we just going to see what we can do these final 10 laps.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be a very intense battle to the finish. What's going to be your strategy to stay up front?
Just to try to hold off the 38 truck because he's very fast. And then you got Gavin behind it, but I'm going to try to help my teammates as much as I can.
Makes a lot of sense to me. I get the position that you're in, and it's going to be definitely an interesting one to watch. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Just my teammates and Brett Murphy and Strayer and you for putting on the show and, for the broadcast and everything.
All right.
Just we'll see what we can do.
All right. Well, thank you much for your time, Chris. I do appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks, sir.
Number 45 of Chris Sawyer, starting in 3rd position. Now, as we leave turn number 4, the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pulls off. Not really sure why everyone's moving positions now. Delayed green. Looks like. Or I'm stupid. I don't know. One or the other. Sean Howell going to be starting P2. Looks like Sawyer moved up to P4. Let's see, who else can we bother? I say bother, but... Hey, wait a minute. That's Lucas Strayer I see in the Discord. Running in the Team Taco Bell with Sean Howell and Gavin Jones. Hey! Lost my in-car reporter to another team. That's it. Alright, I quit. No. Just fun and games. Sean Howell going to be starting on the bottom. Derek Stanley on the outside. So round turn number 4. It's actually going to be this time the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pulls off as we head into the restart zone. Green flag. Derek Stanley off to a fantastic start. Even Sean Howell not able to match that kind of a start. He is gone. So they go now running through the turns. Alex Bell still has not made his start yet. 30 sends the 12 around. Collects the 64. Actually was able to save it. Gavin Jones around here at Iowa. Get a quick replay of that and see just what happened, because I know I'm curious. Get a little bit different of a perspective. But it looks like this is going to be a classic short track kind of start here. Watch now, Brady Floyd just barely gets in front of Brett Murphy there. Regardless, now as we enter turn number 2, Chris Sawyer goes up, 30, gets nervous, moves out of the way, and just collects the 12. That's a racing incident if I've ever seen one. I don't think there's any kind of intentional or even negligent driving. Somebody will skip through. Very close call there for Quinn Gingrich as he's able to slip through. Not too heavy a damage there for Gavin Jones, but more than I know he would like. Because the idea would be 0. As he rolls down pit road now as we resume back into the Beyond 100. Remember that Beyond Wrestling is the home for independent names and future stars in wrestling. Watch all their coverage at IWTV.com. That is IWTV.com. Quinn Gingrich looking like he is going to get a lap back. Currently 7 laps down. That back down to 6. Currently lap 115 of 120. Going to be a shootout to the finish. Probably likely to see a green-white checker. Let's have some fun and bring up Sean Howell, I think was what we should do. I've spoken to Sean in a while. Nice character. If Discord wants to cooperate. Sean, it's open the wood. They read me.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, you've had quite the race today, and you're currently running in 2nd position. How are you feeling?
I'll tell you in about 4 laps.
I think.
Yeah, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster. We wrecked early after that stage there, and we had speed early, and then just second stage just wasn't, or second run, it was just not. Truck wasn't turning well, but I think we'll have a shot at here if we can get a couple laps under green.
That makes a lot of sense to me. We've seen you before, and we know you're competitive, and I just am curious to see what your strategy is going to be going forward, because we know that Iowa is a very difficult racetrack.
Yeah, he's taking the outside, looks like, again, so it's hard to really do anything on the inside without just either killing your tires or just washing up a little bit. I'm going to try to get to the outside on 1 and 2, hopefully. That's where I seem to be better than a few people at, so I'm just going to hopefully maybe get it on 1 and 2. on the outside of him somehow and go from there. Yeah, it's gonna be a race to the finish here.
It absolutely is. Well, I want to thank you very much for your time, Sean. I do appreciate it, and I know that it's not all the time we get to bring you up, so I appreciate your presence here.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for being up here?
Just appreciate everyone watching tonight.
All right, thank you very much for your time, and good luck.
Thank you.
38 is Sean Howell. Discord is not a fan of him today. Took 3 times to move him back down to his group chat. For his team. Team Taco Bell is what Sean Howell is on. Unlike other places, they don't have restrictions against copyrighted names, so we get some fun ones. Team Taco Bell. We also Yee Racing. So there's a few other ones out there. They don't always have some consistent attendance though. Brady Floyd there, you can see in the number 20, runs for Adra Esports. His partner Jesse Atkinson, who is not here. Maybe Will Cloud is on that. I don't know. Equipment Geek hasn't really made too many starts so far. We'll expect to see him back eventually, I imagine. Got to see Jeff in 55 at New Hampshire, which was always fun. All right. 118 of 120. We are under yellow. And we're going to be resuming green flag in just a moment here. As we go down the backstretch, Sean Howell has the bottom. Derek Stanley has the top. Chris Sawyer has 3rd position. Brady Floyd on his outside. Ryan Andrew currently running in 7th position. We're in for one heck of a race. Well, place your bets now, folks, as we are going to be rounding turn number 3, as for hopefully the last time we come around turn number 4 under yellow as the iRacing.com pace car pulls off and we head into the green flag zone and we are away. Whoa, early start there for the 45. Does not pass under yellow though. Well, under the original start, so he should not be getting a penalty as far as I'm aware. They dive down now through. Brady Floyd has a huge run on the outside. Okay, we survived turn 1. Head now into 3. Chris Sawyer dropping like a rock. I think his tires are a bit older than anticipated. Brett Murphy going to be going alongside, shooting it 3 wide. 19 is around. 64 is around. Huge wreck across the front stretch, and we are on the white flag. No, this is the last lap. No yellow. The 26 continues to race as the 38 does as well. That's it. Sean Howell dives down to the bottom. This is going to be for your finish now as they round turn number 4. Derek Stanley in front. Derek Stanley gets the win here at the Beyond Wrestling 100. Sean Howell very close in 2nd position. That's 13 points going to Derek Stanley for the playoffs here tonight. 7 to Howell, and a fantastic 6 points to Brady Floyd, pushing him up to 1,006 points. That was a race. In terms of playoffs, this is a one contentious race, I'll tell you that right now. And it looks like a lot of these guys are trying to get off the track as soon as humanly possible. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Derek Stanley goes to do his victory burnouts, his well-deserved ones at that. Son tells me he does not care about those temperatures up in his engine, and he's going to be losing it any second now. And, you know, to be honest, I don't blame him. Celebrate the win for Yee Racing. And I believe the first this season, the first this season for the 26 crew. Derek Stanley had a great run today. That has been a race here at the Beyond Wrestling 100. If you want to catch some fantastic independent names and future stars in wrestling, check out their coverage at IWTV.com. That is IWTV.com. With that, let's go and bring up, for the first time, perhaps the season, maybe a second, I don't remember, Brady Floyd for getting a fantastic second place finish. I mean, yeah. The positions we have for this one are going to be definitely interesting. So bring it, Brady. Brady, it's over the booth. Do you read me?
Hello?
There we go. A third position there for the 20-ager team. I'm impressed. How are you feeling?
Pretty lucky. Definitely was in too much to deserve the finish here tonight, but somehow found a way, got it done.
I mean, what a interesting last few laps that we had. I mean, they were just full of, I would say, drama and interest and chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting in a really good spot, and then I guess the 8 just got loose off the bottom and caught a lot of people up in it, and I guess I still had the fast repair, so I was lucky enough to just come down and take that and keep decent track position, because a lot of people that just took them out of the race. But I mean, really thankful that we were able to get it done, get a good top 3. Didn't get any practice, registered for the session with like 30 seconds left to go, so all in all, I'd call it a good day.
Yeah, I mean, for coming up with literally zero practice and able to steal yourself a podium position, and Iowa is not one of your best tracks, is it?
Oh, I love Iowa. Iowa might
okay.
be my best track, but I mean, starting last, having to work all the way through the field, never having track position once. It was good to finally get lucky in the chaos and come out with a top 3. So
Yeah, I mean, a well-earned one at that. I know you said, it's, interesting one with all the wrecks and stuff, but still, you have to, have a lot of skill to keep yourself out of majority of them, and the interest that comes with a lot of them. Honestly, I thought you did not like Iowa, so it's interesting to hear that you like it, and I'm completely in your camp. I love this track, too.
yeah, it's a great track. Lots of great racing. I mean, every time we come here, it's always good racing. So usually a little bit less chaos, but definitely a fun track to drive.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I do have to ask, who do you have to thank here for your podium finish tonight?
Well, I mean, you are my main sponsor, so shout out to twitch.tv/4cloak. We'd love to also thank Pierce Graphics, Weeg Designs, and Atkinson Designs as well.
All right, well, thank you much for your time, Brady. I do appreciate it, and congratulations on the third place finish.
Thank you.
Number 20, Brady Floyd finishes in P2 here tonight at Iowa. A great run. All right, let's go and bring up your second place finisher of Sean Howell. Well, Sean, you said that I'd be speaking to you in about 4 laps, and here you are.
Yeah, I mean, second place ain't too bad.
No, and I believe with this, that means you're now going to be leading the playoffs championship.
Yeah, I believe so. It's gonna be. I knew if I could at least keep it up there, I'd have a good points day. That's why I didn't push it too hard trying to get to him, but it didn't launch off too well in that green white checkered, and I would have bumped him if I could have got to him, but we were just a little bit too far back at that coming in the last corner there. Oh, if we had a lap or 2 more, it might have been different, but second place ain't too bad.
No, it's definitely not, and it's good to keep it consistent points, throughout the season. I know that in terms of wins, you're kind of lacking the season a little bit, I think, for your own taste, are you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some close ones of run second, run third. We're getting close. We'll hopefully get another one here at some point.
That's true, but I mean, with 2 wins already, you're looking for your third, and it's definitely looking like it's going to be coming. I mean, you already have last season's championship, and now that you're leading with only 3 rounds left to go, think you can really make this championship run again?
I hope so. I think we have Richmond, Michigan. I don't like Michigan too much, so we'll see how that goes. Richmond, I'm pretty decent at, and I think we ended in Homestead or Phoenix. I'm not too sure.
I don't remember which one, so I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah, I'm okay at both of those tracks. So
Las Vegas. We end at Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Okay. I don't know how I feel about that one. Kind of not a whole lot off throttle time there, but Yeah, I think we'll have a good run here. That helps our point situation. We got some okay stage points that race. So just gotta maintain. I mean, if we second place our way to a championship, that works too. It
Yeah.
just win would have helped there, but second place is fine with me after how that race ran.
Yeah, I definitely get it. Well, with that, who do you have to thank for such a great run here tonight?
Just thank all the sponsors that put on TNT, the admins, everyone watching.
All right, thank you much for your time, Sean. I do appreciate it, and congratulations on the second place.
Thank you.
Number 38 of Sean Howell. Now, for the last interview of tonight, let's go and bring up your race winner, Derek Stanley. Derek's open the booth. There, read me.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, you and I, we spoke not too much longer before, and it looks like you're right. I've definitely brought you back up here, and now for a win.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked on that.
Uh,
I got lucky with all those cautions, where I didn't have to run too many laps, which was good.
That's true. I mean, still though, I mean, it takes skill to actually have to stay up there, and you ran a great race. Your pace was good. You just ended up in the right place at the right time, and it really turned out to be a good break for you guys.
Yeah, staying out on that last pit stop was really the winning call for sure.
Definitely. I mean,
Win.
we see here, as soon as you got to win, it seems like as soon as you started doing the donuts, you just didn't let off the throttle until the engine blew.
Yeah, I was burning it to the ground. Really happy got to win.
I definitely get it. That feeling of winning is just something else. And this is your second win for TNT in total, is it not?
No, this is my first.
First win. All right.
Yeah.
Look at that. And to have it at a track like Iowa, where it's a short track, and it's one of those things where it's
Yeah, I didn't even. This is not one of my best tracks either, so I was kind of shocked. I'm average at Iowa.
Look at that. You're doing so well for
Yeah.
Yee Racing.
Just like the setup, I guess.
Hey, it all works out in the end. And with that, if I'm not mistaken, you should be running second place in the playoffs now.
Nice.
So you're going to have some really good points battles coming up soon. And we've seen before, not only last season, but throughout this entire season so far, we know you're a fast guy. Do you think you can make a championship run?
I'm gonna try. Gonna try my hardest.
Hey, that makes a lot of
See
sense
what I
to me.
could contend for.
Yeah. All right. Well, Derek, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations once again on the win. Who do you have to thank for such a great run here tonight?
Thanks. I gotta thank my teammates, Mitchell and Chris, for helping me throughout that race, and thank Ben, even though he wasn't there, and same with Jeremy.
All right. Thank you very much for your time once again, Derek, and congratulations on the race win.
Thank you, Noah. Have a great.
Oh, I hate it when I do that. Oh, appreciate your time, Derek. I'm sorry for cutting you off. The 26th of Derek Stanley, able to get himself a fantastic race win here tonight at Iowa as he burns it down continuously. We get to watch that, replay that. I mean, just the joy of being able to be in victory lane is like nothing else. It's a very nice thrill. So I'm glad that he was able to have it for the first time here in the Tuesday Night Truck Series after the hardships he's been through when trying to run up here, and it's definitely well deserved. With that, I want to thank everybody that's come out here to the Beyond Wrestling 100. Once again, for the final time, I have to plug him. If you want to see some fantastic wrestling and to see some independent names and future stars absolutely do some great work, check out their coverage at iwtv.com. With that, I got to thank my sponsors over at Pierce Graphics, Frankenstein Metalworks, and Equipment Geek. And thank you to everyone that's been able to come out. It's always nice to see everybody that does. And to the TNT guys for always putting on a great race for us. I mean, every Tuesday we always get to watch something absolutely fantastic. So with that, I've been Noah Walter here on twitch.tv/4cloak, and make sure you tune in next week so you can catch the Michigan race, which is going to be even more exciting as we continue on in the playoffs. I know that the cast car schedule has been looking kind of weird, so check on the Instagram. I'm going to put an update on there. That's at 4cloak_media, where you can follow some information there on what will be happening. And if you want to find out more information about the services that Four Cloak Media offers or anything else, same with our partners, you can check us out at www.fourcloak.net. Once again, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.